solid.
Ooh, that is good.
Hello Internet, I'm Dan.
I'm Chaz, and this is Wine is Serious Business, episode
196.
Thank you.
Got a couple of Italian episodes. We've got some Chianti Classico samples that we've had for over a year now.
Been holding for a while.
But thanks to Catherine from Balzac Communications for hooking us up with these.
Well, it was during the Wine Bloggers Conference we got these. We got to taste through the entire lot. They had a huge table with a whole bunch of Chiantis. Tasted through all of them and liked a good amount of them. And they were like, hey, we can slide you some of these, and if you're gonna write them up or do a show on them. And so we've had them for a while, just been stashing them. And like, we gotta get around these. I mean, literally, we've got a table with like 10 bottles of Chianti.
Yeah. And
so we picked out 2 shows. And so the first show we picked out was 2010 Chianti Classicos. Yeah. So
I really don't know much about this at all. Like it's Sangiovese wines, and there's just a wide range of them, right? There's like really fine, really nice, expensive ones. Sure, that's fine. You know, and then there are also ones that you can get for like $3, right? $3 or $4, just like dirt cheap stuff. So, you know, for me, and I think probably for you too, this is like just a good chance to check in on what's on the market now, what some of these names, what some of these names taste like. Pretty much like an educational experience from zero.
Very true.
Today we got stuff kind of in the middle to the upper end. Like we have about $20 to $30 range here, which is good, I guess, for our education. Kind of some names that we recognize, some that we don't. What's the first one?
Oh man, this is a tough one. Fonterutoli.
Fonterutoli. Huh.
Yeah. So wow. You'll see a picture of the bottle, but man, that's kind of a mouthful.
So Fonterutoli Chianti Classico. Chianti Classico has to be at least 80% Sangiovese and aged at least a little bit of time in bottle. The Riservas have to be aged longer, but this is just
quite a bit longer.
Standard Chianti Classico, and this one was 24.
Yeah. So this one was $24.
All right.
So, all right. And these are all 2010s.
What a strong earthy nose, kind of like a dry, reddish black earth. Kind of like dark fruits underneath it.
I want to say like pipe tobacco, but it's not pipe tobacco. There's like something tarry about it, you know,
a little
like
cigar maybe.
A little bit of cigar, but there's also like, you know, like think of like asphalt tar, just a little bit of that. Not the asphalt, not so much the stoniness, just like that like black stickiness.
Some good juicy plums.
Smells
a lot
nice.
of structure up there on the nose even.
Yeah, that smells nice.
Plenty of structure on the palate too, but the fruit flavors are really nice.
And really border on like more brightly high-toned red fruits. You know, like there's a little bit of raspberries in there, but then there are also some like dark cherries. But really good persistence with this fruit flavors, and then there's a lot of acidity, boatload of tannins on the finish. But nicely balanced, right? There's a lot of fruit intensity for what there is in structure.
The fruit has a good sense of depth to it. I really like what he said with the raspberries and cherries. They're really there in full force. They're kind of in the background to the structure. To me, it's huge, right? The tannins start out big, and they get bigger, and they totally dry your palate out. We've got some food back here. Shout out to Olympic Provisions for always making great salamis. And I can definitely see how, you know, you need a little something to offset the tannins if you're drinking it this young.
And the sausage definitely works. But this wine definitely has enough power to cut through like all the fat that's in the sausage here. So
I'm actually pretty impressed, right? Usually this much tannin is a real problem for me, but the complexity of the fruit kind of keeps my attention. And while this isn't something that I think I would just like sit and drink a bottle of while I'm playing around on my computer, I can definitely see it with certain types of meals.
Totally. I think it's drinking pretty well now, considering how powerful the structure is. But at the same point, this would be probably aged really well based on the balance.
I think so.
Yeah, this would be a really fun wine to age. I like quite a bit, 88 plus for me.
Yeah, and it's been open for about an hour, I think, right? Yeah, so not a long time. I think if I were to drink it now, I'd decant it. So, you know what? We're gonna let some of that bias come out. I guess I'd say right now it's only 86 for me. There's some stuff I enjoy, but the structure prevents me from kind of enthusiastically drinking it at this point.
It's fun to drink.
Would I be happy to have some bottles though? Yeah, because I bet in another 3 years or something like that.
Cheese.
Oh really? Maybe I'll give that a try.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good with the sausage and cheese. So I'll go ahead and move us forward into the next wine since Dan's going to take a little segue into something else. The next one's the Brolio by Barone. Ricasoli. Man, I've got a horrible tongue, and I'm sorry for that, but this is also Chianti Classico 2010. A little rinse there.
Thanks.
What do you think?
Whoa, that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
You're totally right. The cheese offsets the structure really well. We'll bump it up. I'll say 87. Drink it with food if you've got them now, or sit on them. But it's also nice to be able to kind of like get excited about a wine for aging at a sub $30 price point. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's true. You're probably going to see us sweating on the show today. It is kind of warm in Portland, and we're in my apartment, and we had to close all the windows and turn off the fan because
street noise.
Filming the show, and there's a lot of street noise. So yeah, that's why we're sweating. So
that's all right.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so another 2010. One thing I was going to ask. Whatever. Move on. Sorry.
All right.
I have a question for the audience, but oh yeah, I know there's some people out there that really like Italian wines that watch the show.
Totally, it's true.
Can you tell us anything about, or post in the comments anything about the 2010 Chianti vintage?
Oh yeah, we don't know anything about that. So
be another vintage coming up in one of our next shows.
2010 in Tuscany. What was it like? Yeah,
exactly. So
also really earthy.
Yeah, mega earthy.
Just a touch of barnyard here.
Yeah, this is bordering towards like some really funky earthy flavors, and in a good way. This smells kind of fun. Like it's like really damp earth, like maybe like old evergreen pine needles a little bit in there.
Maybe a touch. Yeah, I like some wild strawberries underneath, right? The real little ones, like lots of seed to fruit ratio there.
Absolutely. Yeah. What was the thing I was gonna say? There's like something just a little touch floral, like green floral in there too, like.
But it
I'm struggling. Yeah, very engaging nose. I'm struggling with pinpointing exactly what it is, but it's a very engaging nose.
A lot more friendly on entry. I'm getting way more of the fruit up front, and I think those strawberry flavors kind of show up. Definitely some kind of like tart blackberries backing it up, and then the structure comes rolling in. Like make no mistake, it's still there. It just takes a little longer before it gets started.
I completely agree. And this one's firmly tannic. I think the one before it, the Fonterutoli, that's going to be struggling with that one the whole time. The Fonterutoli was, I think, more balanced. This one's like very structured and almost overwhelming the finish for me. Right? Like it's a lot more powerful.
Sure.
Gotta give it the cheese test. Mm-hmm.
It is an interesting comparison. I actually like the way this one starts out more.
I do.
But since the structure is separate, when it comes in, it really kind of just detracts from the fruit, kind of knocks the fruit off track. And you can't really enjoy the whole experience together as much.
I agree. Yeah, it's not I guess we use the term integration.
Mm-hmm.
This one isn't completely integrated, right? Wholly. Like whereas I think the one previous to it, the structure and the fruit was integrated. And I liked the way it drank. This one's a bit brutal, but I don't know.
It's all right. I wouldn't really say brutal.
Acidity on this one's tough for me, but you know how I am with the
sure. And I'd say that the structure on this is in the end still weaker than this. It's just the transition that knocks it a little bit off for me. But I like the fruit more. I like the nose a lot. I wouldn't be as excited about aging it.
Right.
So,
whereas I would probably purchase this at $24 to $25 a bottle. This one comes in at $28. So I'm a little less excited about it, and I'm a little less excited about it on the palate, just the way that it comes across.
Yeah.
So 85 plus for me, probably 85 to 86 points. I'm sure there's got to be some potential because it is an intense wine throughout, and hopefully that will delineate through age well together. But I have no idea. So
Yeah, tough for me to score too. I'm gonna go with 86. Yeah, just kind of, yeah. Gonna go with 86. It didn't seem to change as much with the cheese either. So
no. Yeah. All right. So the last one we've got here is from Felsina, which is kind of a bigger winery. I've had wines from them before. Felsina, they're Berardenga.
Berardenga.
Everyone on the internet is laughing at me right now, I bet.
Berardenga.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's cool.
We got some mouthfuls here. Yeah.
I don't know if this is worse than the French pronunciation.
Well, you can go. I rinsed
these are
both
the
of us.
fours, okay.
Yeah, I rinsed both of us.
At least we can pronounce the German wines decently.
That's true.
Something.
You can. I'm working on it.
I'm working on it. All right. Felsina, also 2010.
Mm-hmm.
None of these are Riservas, right? All
Nope.
Chianti Classico.
All Chianti Classicos,
All right.
and this one is this one's the cheapest of the group at $20.
All right.
It certainly just smells like fruit.
Really? I'm getting really earthy notes on this one too.
Maybe it's the meat. I need to take a little sip.
I'm getting fruit too, and I'm getting more of a floral component than the previous two. But more kind of like dry red herb, kind of some dried grass on it. A little more herbal.
I'm getting some of the herbal components, and man, the bright cherry thing is just sticking out right out in front. Maybe like some old campfire ash too, like an old campfire a little bit, you know. But the herbal components, like a little bit of rosemary, maybe a little bit of dried basil's coming through it as well. So.
It's a pretty good texture across the palate, I think.
Yeah,
it does rip up a bit at the end, but yeah.
It turns a little angular at the end, but it's pretty easy to drink right off the bat. I mean, pretty nice, honestly.
Yeah, structure's still pretty full, but the fruit has a juicy kind of character to it. I'm getting mostly plums. For me, a little bit of cherries too.
Yeah.
No shortage of acidity.
No, there's a lot of acidity on this one, but well packaged with the fruit flavors. Whereas the last wine sort of was the fruit and the earth, and then it was this huge wallop of structure, which was like acidity and tough tannins on the finish. This one, the acidity is there throughout the entire wine, right? The entire experience on the palate. Like you taste it, wow, it's acidic fruit all the way from start to finish. The tannins are a little rough on the finish, but you know, not too bad. So I would say it's easier to drink than the previous one, but not as compelling of an experience. Like fruit isn't as immediately complex, and the nose is definitely a little softer and not as complex as the previous one. So.
I've noticed with the food that it's a lot more friendly on entry too. I'm getting a lot more of the fruit up front. Kind of the cherries and plums, a little more towards the red side actually, a little more of the cherries than the plums. The transition into the structure is a little bit more integrated than this one. I don't think it's as well integrated as this one, but the fruit flavors kind of stay around. I totally agree with what he's saying, where they're just not quite as deep and quite as interesting, but you know, it is at the lower end of the price point, so that kind of makes sense. It's still enjoyable and well put together, and it works.
I agree.
Also 86 points for me. I hope I ended up going with 87 on that. I think you changed it to that with the food.
Yeah, 88. I think it went 88 plus on this one. I like that one quite a bit compared to the previous two. I mean, this one maybe will turn around with age. Man, I wouldn't suggest drinking it right now, or if you do, decant the crap out of it. And this one's not drinking too bad, honestly.
No, that one's ready to go. I think it's nice, and again, not one that I'd sit and drink while sitting on the couch, right? I think eating something with it makes a significant difference. Kind of drinking it slowly too, right? It's not one for big mouthfuls, right? It'd get overwhelming really fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But still some good complexity in the $20 to $30 range. Like, yeah, interesting stuff. And definitely, like, this is, you know, a name I've never seen before. Actually, both of these I think are new to me, so.
They are to me as well.
Yeah, we're learning a little bit of something.
I'll seek this one out, the Fonterutoli. All right. That's the show.
That's the show. Question of the day.
I have a question.
Nice.
I just shaved off my beard. I couldn't handle it. What's the longest you've ever grown out a beard?
Ugh.
I know you've grown out some
Year.
long
I've
ones.
had it for years at a time. Oh, before
Like,
even
what's-
trimming it?
Yeah, before even trimming. Like, what's the longest you've gone before you even like? I mean, you got to trim it down, like make it to where you don't have like a huge neck beard. But like, what's the
Okay.
longest like to where you've let it progressively go and then like, okay, I got to shave it back.
Almost a year, I think.
Wow.
And I would like to grow it more. Like I am impressed
Brutal.
with the people that have the really great big ones, but mine gets all these weird shapes going on, and eventually
Yeah.
I get so angry at trying to keep it, you know, to trim it back to get rid of the weird shapes, and then it just goes back to the form you guys have been seeing for actually we were doing the show when it was at its
Yeah.
longest, so you've all seen that.
We have.
No long beard for Chaz.
3 months is the longest I've made it, and then I couldn't handle it anymore. So
Yeah.
I get these. Well, someone
the
someone coined it
sensitive
a
skin.
Keanu Reeves beard because it's like really spotty and it looks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Well, that's a good role model.
anyway. All right, we'll see you guys next time. It'll be on the
Cheers.
Chianti show.
Yeah,
so.
do a little more wine from Tuscany.